Hey guys, welcome back to the channel on this beautiful fall Sunday morning. This is peak fall foliage here in Virginia. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. Oh man, it's absolutely breathtaking outside. Anyway, today I've got the Mathey-Tissot. Now I said that correctly, Mathey-Tissot, not just Tissot. This is one of their vintage 50-meter quartz Pepsi divers, I guess. Anyway, this is the H900AR. Again, this is the Pepsi variation. I wanted to check one of these out. I've heard of Mathey-Tissot before. I was like, okay, are they related companies? What's going on here? Is this like the upside down version, like in Stranger Things? Is this the upside down version of a Tissot? It's kind of interesting, man. Anyway, I want to check one of these out, so let's get into it. All right, guys, we'll get into this, but first check out my Amazon shopping channel if you like any of the other watches I've reviewed on my channel. As y'all know, I get a very small commission, yada, 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 if you buy from my Amazon store. So when you do so, I definitely appreciate it. Guys, I can't really recommend this one, so there's not going to be a link to this watch in my Amazon store. Plus, it looks like Amazon has pulled like 99% of these watches literally a couple days after I bought this thing. I don't know what's going on. It's a little weird, but anyway, pretty boring packaging, just a black box. And again, I was really interested because I see the name Tissot and I'm like, wait a minute, is this like a sub-brand? I'm not quite sure, you know, what's going on here. I mean, I did all the research. I know what's going on, but it's just weird to have companies, you know, two separate companies with the same name in their, you know, with the same name in their title or their logo. It was really odd. So I had to check, bottom line, I had to check this thing out and figure out what the connection is, if there is any connection. And it looks like there's absolutely no connection. They are two separate companies. I'll tell you all about that here in just a minute. But anyway, here is the watch. Again, kind of cheapo, bland packaging. You got this big, huge foam pillow thing here. You got this manual. I guess this is a warranty certificate too. Is it even a manual? It looks like it's just a warranty. I mean, you really don't need a manual with these type of, you know, three-hand watches. So there you go with that. It does come on, again, this big, huge watch pillow. All right. And this is really only an interesting watch to me, guys, again, because it's got the name Tissot in it. So I had to take a look and see what was going on with this company. And it's actually pretty interesting, at least I think it is. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and give you all the 7 specs you need to know, and then we'll talk much more about this Mathey-Tissot in a couple minutes. So you're looking at a 40mm stainless steel case. It's 12mm thick. It's got a slightly domed crystal. It's 47mm lug to lug. It's on a 20mm stainless steel bracelet. Water resistance is only 50 meters, which is about 165 feet. I had to search around, but it looks like it comes with a Ronda caliber 505. You're probably looking at a couple years on the battery life. It has a mineral crystal that Mathey-Tissot says is sapphire coated. I don't know what that means, probably some BS, but anyway, check down there in the description for all the other specs. You know, it does have a screw down crown, which absolutely shocked me. It does have a milled scissor clasp, which absolutely shocked me. Anyway, check all that stuff down there in the description field if you want to know all the specs. Another weird one, it doesn't have a 60-click or 120-click bezel. It has like an 84-click unidirectional bezel. I've never seen an 84-click. I think I counted, it was like 7 notches between the different indexes. Really weird. Anyway, so here is the deal with these Mathey-Tissots, guys. They're two separate, totally separate companies. Tissot itself started in 1853 and was founded by Charles Félicien Tissot. And Mathey-Tissot was founded about 33 years later by Edmond, you guessed it, Mathey-Tissot. So two different guys, two different companies. They were started about 33 years apart. Now, there's a huge difference in sales with regular Tissot and this Mathey-Tissot. Regular Tissot, which of course is part of the Swatch Group, they do about $169 million in sales per year. I don't know why I'm laughing. Mathey-Tissot does a whopping $1 million in sales. So yes, so 169 for regular Tissot and 1 million for this Mathey-Tissot. So obviously, you know, Tissot has a much bigger marketing department. They advertise all over the place. And this Mathey-Tissot company just really doesn't. So, another big difference is Mathey-Tissot really doesn't offer any sort of sports models. They don't have multiple types of straps and bracelets. They either have a stainless steel or a leather. You know, Tissot has rubber and titanium and all sorts of other type of straps and bracelets. You know, Mathey-Tissot does not. There is a pretty big difference in build quality. I was looking at this under a loop. You can see dust and debris on the dial. I mean, the weird thing is that it feels kind of solid. But, you know, when you just kind of look at it, when you scrutinize it, you can see there are, you know, build differences with this thing. And you know, again, I was shocked that it has a screw down crown. I was shocked that it has a milled scissor clasp instead of a stamped scissor clasp. So there are some, you know, kind of positives with this watch. It's not all bad, but guys, this really reminds me of like an Invicta. I mean, I hate to say that. I hate to compare anything to an Invicta, but this really kind of reminds me of an Invicta, man. And it's just, I don't know how to explain it, man. So if you look on the side here, you can see, was it 1886? It kind of reminds me, they say Invicta, when Invicta puts that on the side of their cases, they put this on the side of their case. Mathey-Tissot does. It's just kind of, it's kind of an odd watch. I'm not a big fan of that faux patina on the Lume. That's why it's got vintage underneath there, only because they made the Lume look like it's like, you know, aged or whatever. It's got a patina to it. Again, really shocked that it's got a screw down crown that actually feels pretty good. Really shocked that a 50-meter watch has a screw down crown. And again, I'll open this thing up. I'm not going to take all the stickers and stuff off, but I will open it up and show you the scissor clasp. So you got a signed screw down crown. Again, really odd for a sub, I guess like $150 watch. It does have a friction closer. It doesn't have a security buckle. So basically you just take this, you just pop it open. There's your milled scissor clasp, stainless steel. Now guys, they say these are Swiss made. I'm finding that, what's the word I'm looking for? Incredulous? I can't remember which one I'm looking for. Man, if this thing is Swiss made, this has got to be like the bottom of the barrel so far as quality goes for any Swiss company. I mean, I take that back. It's not horrible, but you can definitely see where, especially on the dial, when you can see dust and debris on the dial, you know, I mean, just the quality control is not there. I mean, there's your case back. You know, it is a screw down case back. It's got some laser etching on it. The bracelet is not bad. Actually, the bracelet's probably, you know, it's probably the best part of the watch, to tell you the truth. Let me show you the tag here. Here is the tag. Let me flip it upside down, actually right side up. Mathey-Tissot right there. Geneva. Nothing else other than just the model number right there on the back of the tag. And again, when I was doing all the research for this watch and I found out that Amazon has basically pulled just about every Mathey-Tissot watch from their website, including this one, at least in North America. I mean, I found a couple of their higher end automatics, but everything else is gone. It's just really weird, man. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but anyway, I mean, if you want a really cheap, you know, Swiss-made watch that's not atrocious, but it's not fantastic, as long as you don't look at the dial under a loop, I mean, I think you'd be pretty, you know, pretty good if you want to get one of these, I guess, if you can find one. Obviously, the second hand doesn't line up with the indexes. It doesn't hit any of the indexes right on point, as you can see. It's off a little bit. The bezel, again, it's like a 80, was it 84 click or something? What did I say? Yeah, it's 84 click bezel. Really odd. Obviously, it's aluminum insert. You got the fake Lume. You got the Mercedes hour hand, which is basically like the Rolex hour hand. I mean, it's a Rolex homage, obviously. You got vintage underneath there because obviously the fake Lume, the fake patina on the Lume. I mean, the case is pretty unremarkable. It's mostly polished. all over the watch with a couple brush surfaces. Again, the bracelet, kind of the same thing. You do have a whole bunch of micro adjusts. You got 4 micro adjusts. I guess that's nice. And again, you do have the milled scissor clasp instead of a stamped scissor clasp. I mean, if this company can do it, why in the heck can't Seiko do that, man? If they can put a milled scissor clasp on a sub $150 watch, I don't see why Seiko can't do that. But anyway, it's just a kind of a weird, again, kind of like a Stranger Things upside down world where you have 2 companies, but they're, 2 totally separate companies, but they've got, at least part of the name in both of their names. You've got regular Tissot, then you've got Mathey-Tissot. They're both old companies. They were both hit by the Quartz crisis back in the late 70s, early 80s. Obviously, Tissot did a much better job of handling that than this Mathey-Tissot company did. But again, guys, they're totally unrelated. So, which is weird. It kind of reminds me of Under Armour, the clothing company, and then Body Armor, the drink company. Obviously the names aren't the exact same. You have Tissot and both of the names with these 2 separate watch companies, but you got Body Armor, you've got Under Armour. They're super related. It just, I don't know, just irritates me. I would just, buy this company, get rid of them if I was Tissot, and just have the Tissot name. Because honestly, with this company being out there, having part of the Tissot name in it, I don't know, man. I don't want anybody to be confused between the 2 separate companies. Again, guys, this is kind of like an Invicta version of a Tissot. And again, you all know how I feel about Invictas. But it's not... if you want like a really cheap Quartz Swiss-made watch, they say this is Swiss-made. Again, it's got Swiss-made down there. But man, if this is Swiss-made, I'd be absolutely shocked. Maybe it is. It's got a Ronda movement. Now, it's funny, on their website, it doesn't say that it's got a Ronda movement. I had to look around other websites to see that it had a Ronda movement. It doesn't say what type of lume on their website either. So guys, this is a bargain basement Swiss Quartz. And if that's right up your alley and you want something just, like a beater for the weekend, this will definitely fit the bill. Again, it's only got 50 meters of water resistance. So obviously you can't go diving. Most people don't dive with their dive watch anyway. But this would probably be a pretty decent beater, man. Honestly, it's probably actually a really good beater. Let me show you this other side of the case here again real quick. There's the 1886, like Invicta does. When Invicta just splashes Invicta, in big font on the left-hand side of the case. The bezel, decent action. Not bad action. It's just weird that it's only got 7 clicks between the indexes. Let me see. And it lines, yeah, it's slightly to the right, as you can see right there. It doesn't line up. Let me click it over one more time, see if I can get the line up. Yeah, it doesn't line up. It's slightly to the left or the right of the 12 o'clock index, so it doesn't line up. As you can see, the second hand basically is hitting in between the markers. I hate to totally bash a watch unless it's an Invicta, but and this does have some redeeming qualities. Again, the milled scissor clasp, it actually feels pretty decent. It's just when you put it under a loop, again, you can see that dust and debris and scratches and stuff on the dial itself. So, I don't know, man. Y'all tell me what you think. I wanted to bring you this watch just to kind of see, one for myself to see what the deal was between Mathey-Tissot and regular Tissot. I just want to kind of bring you this watch. Again, good luck finding any of these on Amazon. I'm sure there's some other places you can get them. But good luck finding this thing on Amazon now. Literally 2 days after I bought this, they took it off the Amazon website. I just typed in Mathey-Tissot. A couple of days later, and there's literally only 3 or 4 models that I could find, and those were up in $300 and $400 because they were automatics. So let me go ahead and try this thing on real quick. Such an interesting watch, only because of the Tissot linkage. Well, not really. They're not linked at all, but the Tissot name. So let me see if I can try this on. Let me see how it feels on the wrist here. Wow. Holy crap. That's really comfortable. Man, so there's another little check in the plus box, the plus column there. Man, super comfortable. Wow, that's really comfortable. All right, let's go ahead and give it a Lume shot. I know the Lume is going to be atrocious because I tried it before I started this video. Let's go ahead and kill the studio light. Let's kill this monitor. I mean, it stays lit for about 10 seconds and just like completely fades away. Here's the Lume. There you go. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's a little bit better in, you know, in completely dark, you know, in complete darkness, I guess. But yeah, you can see it's already, wow, it's already faded like probably 50%. So that's the Lume. Again, guys, you know, it's entirely up to you. You know, spend your hard-earned money on whatever you want. I personally can't really recommend this watch unless you don't care about a little dust and debris on your dial. You want this as just a beater. I mean, I don't know how tough of a watch it would be, but I have to say it does feel kind of solid. I don't know, man. It's got a nice weight to it. What is the weight on this thing? Yeah, 142 grams. So it's got a decent weight to it. It's not too heavy, not too light. I don't know, man. This is just going to be up to y'all. Y'all tell me whether you like it or not, whether you would spend your money on this as opposed to like a regular Tissot or another watch, you know, a Seiko or a Citizen or a G-Shock or a Swatch or whatever. Something similar in price range, but probably a lot better in quality. It's entirely up to you. You know, buy what you want, but I just can't really in good conscience recommend this brand. Anyway, it's interesting nonetheless. So guys, you know, that's really about it for this one. Again, there's no link for this one down there in the description field. I'm not going to recommend this thing. Plus, it's not even on Amazon's site anyway. So with that being said, as always, make sure you like and subscribe if you like my content. And I really hope you do. I've got a ton of stuff coming up here in the next 2 months. You know, Black Friday's a few weeks away. I've got a ton of stuff coming up. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that. And again, guys, this has been the Mathey-Tissot. Again, totally unrelated to regular Tissot. Vintage 50-meter quartz Pepsi, model H900AR. And if you like this, go out there somewhere, at least not on Amazon. Go out there and pick one up if you like it. So anyway, guys, that's been about it for this one. I'll see you on the next review. Take care. Bye-bye.